Good morning, my dear children. Welcome to St. e-learning classes. My name is Francis sir, and today, my dear children, we will be studying chapter number 12 of Social Science for Standard 5. And the name of the chapter number 12 is Conservation of Environment. So let's read and understand this chapter. Environment conservation is the preservation of our natural resources. These include our land, water, air, minerals, forest and wildlife resources. We live in an environment which comprises both living and non-living things, and we are dependent on them for survival. Therefore, we should protect them in order to maintain a balance in nature. So, first of all, my children, we need to understand what we mean by conservation. Conservation means to protect it for our future use, and environment conservation, it means the preservation or protection of our natural resources. The natural resources like water, land, air, minerals, forests, as well as wildlife resources, and they are all interconnected and interdependent on each other. So we must protect them as they are all related to each other. Our environment faces many problems like pollution, global warming, water scarcity, soil infertility, loss of biodiversity and other similar concerns. Most of these problems arise due to human activities like industrialization, urbanization, deforestation and overpopulation. In our last chapter, my children, we had studied about pollution, what is pollution and what types of pollutions are there. Some pollutions are caused by natural sources, some are caused by human. Now in this particular chapter, we are going to study how we should protect the environment, what steps we must take to protect the various types of pollutions from being entered in the environment. We need to take active steps to conserve our environment and check these problems. Measures should be taken to conserve biodiversity and encourage eco-friendly practices at national, international and individual levels. So we are going to now study about how to control all the various types of pollution from entering into the environment. Reducing pollution. Pollutants enter our environment when we misuse our resources. Indiscriminate pollution creates an ecological imbalance. There are many ways by which we can control pollution. So let's understand one by one measures of controlling various types of pollution. First, we come to air pollution. How to control it? Some measures to control air pollutions are listed below. Number one, we should use clean fuel such as unleaded petrol or fuels with low sulfur and ash content. We should encourage people to use public transport, walk or use a cycle as opposed to using private cars or other vehicles. We should avoid burning waste and leaves in the open. We should plant more trees as they remove harmful air pollutants and absorb noise. Factories and waste disposal sites should be situated outside the city, away from residential areas. Pollution controlling equipments should be used in factories to help control emissions of harmful gases in the air. The emission of harmful gases from factories and industries should be restricted to permissible levels. And the government should continuously monitor the atmosphere for pollutants. So there are many measures, but let's study them one by one. So what is the first measure? The first measure is we should use clean fuel so that it gives less amount of pollution. The second is we should encourage people to use public transport, or we should walk, and if you don't want to walk, then you must use a cycle so that pollution is reduced. The third step or the third measure is we should avoid burning waste because it pollutes the environment. We should plant more trees. One of the most important measures. We should plant more trees as it is very important. we should factory and waste disposal sites should be situated away from the city. That is, the factory waste must be away. Why factory waste must be away, my dear children? Because if it is away from the city, less amount of pollution will be entering to the city. So the next step is factory waste or disposal waste should be away from the city. Then we come to polluting controlling equipment. There should be equipments to control pollution. So equipments must be there to control pollution. Then the emission of harmful gases from factories and industries should be restricted to permissible levels for emitting all various types of harmful gases. So restriction of harmful gases. And last, we come to the government should monitor. The government should monitor the atmosphere for pollutants. That is, the government should take care and should monitor as to how much is the pollution level in the environment. So the government should play an important role here. Now we come to the second way of controlling pollution, that is water pollution. So my dear children, we will stop till here, that is controlling air pollution. In our next class, we will move ahead with controlling water pollution. So till then, what we have studied, please revise. Thank you.